Yes. Over to you, Mr. Nanley.
Okay. GM from wherever you're watching this.
Yeah.
This is Web3 Protocol Africa, and we're so excited to come with a new edition, an office hour, and we hope to have more of this frequently. So in today's office hour, we're going to be looking at the recent advancement that happened within the Ethereum ecosystem, which is the Pectra upgrade. As protocol engineers, it is very important we are aware of what this means. And in today's office hour, we have one of our protocol engineers at Web3 Protocol Africa who will be taking us through what it is about the Pectra upgrade, what we need to know to be more effective when it comes to protocol engineering. It's a very seasoned one, and we hope to have a rap attention from your end. So over to you, Mr. Emmanuel.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for that, Mr. Nanley. Um, my name remains Emmanuel Federa, and I'm a blockchain enthusiast and also a protocol engineer. Yeah. And I also love to do hard things. Yeah. So today we'll be talking about the Ethereum Pectra upgrade. Yeah, we're talking about that. We're talking about the features it contains and also what it means for the Ethereum community at large, right? So before I go into that, Mr. Nani, do you want to introduce yourself? You didn't. I noticed you didn't introduce yourself earlier. Just,
Okay. Nathaniel Nandley. I'm also a blockchain developer and a protocol engineer at Web3 Protocol Africa.
great,
It's nice to be here, sir.
great. It's nice to have you on board, sir. Great.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so first of all, do we agree that, Mr. Nani, do you agree that the Pectra upgrade is sort of like a hard fork?
Yeah, it
Okay,
is.
exactly. So first of all, for us to be able to understand the Pectra upgrade, we have to know and understand what a hard fork is, right? So basically, what a hard fork is just basically a kind of change that is not backward compatible to the blockchain protocol, right? So if you think about this from the software perspective, right, where we have a newer version of the software. So when we say we have a newer version of the software, this newer version might be backward is always, let's say, is always backward compatible. What does that mean? It means that somebody that's running the newer version of the software can always revert back to the previous or the older versions of the software, right? So when we say a software is now is not backward compatible, it means that newer versions of that software cannot revert back to the older versions, meaning they can't go back to the older versions. Now, let's bring this analogy to the blockchain space. When we talk about the hard fork, it simply means that the blockchain protocol is not backward compatible, meaning that at some point all the nodes in the network would have to upgrade to a newer version in order to validate transactions, right? So that is simply what a hard fork is. So about the Pectra upgrade. So speaking of upgrades, I know that in the Ethereum community, there's been upgrades, and I think the first sort of um, upgrade that happened, talk about the merge in the year 2022, and the merge sort of like that's the merge brought about the Beacon chain. So the merge is all about it was when Ethereum transitioned from its proof of work consensus mechanism to its proof of stake consensus mechanism. So what that does for Ethereum is sort of like it lowered the energy consumption that the proof of work consensus mechanism uses to validate transaction and to create blocks and all of that. So it lowered that energy consumption rate up to about 99%. Right. So that is what that is what the merge did, and also it created the beacon chain. Yeah. Um, then in 2024 we talked about the Denkun upgrade, which is the combination of the DNAB execution layer upgrade and also the Cancun consensus layer upgrade. Talked about that, and some of the features of the Denkun upgrade. We have features like this was when proto-dank sharding was introduced in EIP 4844. So, and some of the features of this EIP includes it introduced sort of like blob transaction where we have binary large objects kind of transactions to significantly reduce roll-up transaction cost. Right. So in Ethereum we have what we call L2 rollups. So this rollup sort of like bundles a lot of transactions to make the transactions fee cheaper, right? So in EIP 4844, this in the Denkun upgrade, that was when blobs transaction was introduced. Yeah. So and also another feature of the proto-dank sharding EIP, it's also like sort of like added a new transaction type that stores data temporarily and cheaply on the blockchain, right? Yeah, so that is that for the for the Denkun upgrade, which happened in 2024. That was last year. So over to this year, 2025, we have the Pectra upgrade. Mr. Nandi, are you hear with me?
Yeah, I'm here, sir.
Okay. In the Pectra upgrade, we have like a list of EIPs, and when I say EIPs, I mean Ethereum improvement proposals. These are proposals that are submitted to the community to delegate on in order to make changes to the network protocol, right, Mr. Nale?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have a list of features that the Pectra upgrade contains, and yeah, let me just put this out there. So the Pectra upgrade is a combination of the Prague execution layer upgrade and the Electra consensus layer upgrade, right? Yeah, so we have a series of EIPs that went into the Pectra upgrade. We have examples, we have EIP 7702, we have EIP 7251, we have EIP 6110. But for today's discourse, we'll just be talking about a few of them. I would love to talk about the EIP 7251, which has a lot to do with staking, the increase of the maximum effective balance for stakers, right? So, and also EIP 7702, which talks about account abstraction. Yeah. So, Mr. Nandi, so in EIP 7251, it talks about the increment of the max effective balance. So that EIP now, what does that mean for the Ethereum community, maybe the stakers and all of that? So one of the features of while we wait for Mr. Nande, one of the features of the Pectra upgrade, like I said, is account abstraction. And what that does is or whether you're a user or a builder or a staker, what that does for you is that it enhances your what's it called, the externally owned accounts, right? It enhances them with sort of like smart contract functionalities, right? So you're able to do what a smart contract code will do from your externally owned account. Whereby, and this feature also comes with packages where you are able to like use some other tokens to pay for gas fees, right? So that is what this feature does for you. Mr. Nandi, I see here.
Okay, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, okay. Sorry about that.
That's
Are,
fine.
are you asking me about how the Pectra upgrade affects staking?
Yeah, I just asked. I wanted to hear your input on the AIP 7251 that talks about the incrementing max effective balance. That's for staking. Yeah.
Okay. Um so what changes with that upgrade is that
Yes,
we'll
sir.
no longer be having 32 ETH to stake per validator, but we're going to be having 2048 amount of ETH per validator. That I know about the upgrade with EIP 7251. It reduces the need for large stakers to operate. I think many small validators. Yeah, so that's one of the major shifts with the Pectra upgrade, sir.
Okay. Great. Okay. So yeah, that's true. So from my findings about the increment of the max effective balance, I think what that does for the community at large is it's simply like, because I think before this upgrade, if you are going to stake more than if you're going to stake above 32 ETH, you are not going to get rewarded for any one ETH that is above the 32 ETH that you stake. You're only going to get rewarded for the 32 ETH that you stake. So now, what this means for the community is that as you stake more than 32 ETH, you get rewarded for every ETH, or for every ether that is above the minimum effective balance right now, which is 32 ETH, right? So that feature, that capacity for you to like get reward from every ETH that is above the minimum effective balance right now has now been added through this AIP 7251. I'll be rounding up now. These are the two AIPs I wanted to talk about. Yeah, so would likely be having another session on the Pectra upgrade to basically talk about some other features that the Pectra upgrade comes with. Yeah,
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel, for that amazing session.
you're
This is the
welcome.
first of its kind, so we hope to have another office hour on Monday, next week, Monday, the same
Okay,
time. We'll
great.
drop, yes, same time, same venue, and we'll still dive deep into what entails within the Pectra upgrade. There are many things relating to the Pectra upgrade, and we hope to dive deeper into them. Yeah, so if you have any question, you can drop your questions on the Telegram channel,
Yes,
and we'll do well to respond to you ASAP. All
yes.
right, but for now, please do have a good and lovely day ahead.
Thank you for your
Yeah,
time, Mr. Nandi.
yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah.